Well, very good evening. Sanbanani Banpasemzansi Lenage in Tombi Yagwa Shongwe Upearl Shongwe. You're tuned into the second episode of One Day Leader Season 6. We're here to challenge your outlook by getting you to speak about the issues that impact and affect your world. This week, our contestants will be debating the following topic. The rise in the culture of casual and unprotected sex amongst the youth is becoming more prominent. Who should take primary responsibility to encourage a healthier attitude and behavior towards sexual encounters? Should it be the school or the family? But of course, before we get into all of that, I need to answer the question that has been on your mind since last week. Who exactly made it into our final top 6? Ngaphandle kokunimoshela isikhathi, let's see who your leaders for this season will be.
My name is Gugulethu Manyathi. I'm 25 years old. I stay in Rockville in Soweto, that's where I grew up. So I went to Queen's High School, where I was deputy head girl in 2010. From there I went to Varsity College in Sandton, where I studied public relations. And then I went on to work in PR for a short while before going to Monash University, where I also got an opportunity to do the second year of my degree in Malaysia. So I studied in Malaysia for a year. The youth of this country really needs good leaders to look up to. So we're going to be able to deliver that this season of One Day Leader.
Well, Mzansi, that is your first leader that made it into our top 6 this season. Welcome, Gugulethu. Your vision statement, please.
If there is one revolution our country needs, it's the revolution of the quality of our leadership. A good leader understands that they are personally responsible for becoming more ethical than the society they grew up in. As a rising leader of South Africa, I am determined to contribute to the creation of a disciplined leadership culture. There's a new sheriff in town, and she means business.
All right, Mzansi, let's take a look at who is our next leader.
Igama lami Philasande Jama. Ndisuka ngapha eKapa, but ukuzalwa ndazalwa leNgcobo esiqomeni. Ubhlungu ubona abantu abamnyama like kule ndawo ngisuka kuyo ngendlela abaphila ngayo. So ingaseke mina ke ngibengulami uzisa ugalelo, tshintsha impilo zabantu indlela abacinga ngayo because abantu abenifunda nabo abaninzi babona bephalala ecala kwami. Abanye basezidrongweni, abanye baswele babhubha kudala. So ndifuna nje ukunceda abantu ingqondo yabo indlela abacinga ngayo.
That is our second leader, Mzansi, and his name is, of course, Philasande Jama. Your vision statement, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, despite all the raindrops that came through the roof, today I stand with confidence and declare that I made it from a shack to your screens. I declare South Africa in Africa that strives for economic emancipation through the empowerment of our local economies. I declare an Africa that promotes criminal justice where no citizen is above law.
We're moving swiftly along. Let's take a look at who else made it into our top 6.
Kuhlekonke Ntuli. I come from KwaMaphumulo in KZN, and I grew up in New Germany. I've got my degree in Geography and Environmental Management at UKZN and currently studying towards my master's in housing. I'm really passionate about solving problems in the country. I focus more on women empowerment.
Zansi, that is leader 3, Ms. Kuhlekonke. You're also welcome to One Day Leader. Your vision statement, please.
I am Womandla, armored in hope and faith, marching towards the realization of the dreams of African women. Striving for South Africa, we young people are no longer bound by the chains of poverty and illiteracy, where we have realized the prosperous economization of indigenous knowledge systems. I see self-sustained economies of townships where young people have enhanced value of human capital. By that saying, welcome to the new South Africa, the unchanged generation.
Mina Bhekisisa Buthelezi, ngibuya eKuhlekonke, went to Ithuba Community College for my high school, and I went to UNISA, and then from UNISA I went to EWC. We have to take deliberate measures in terms of education, in terms of the wealth of the country.
And that is leader 4, Bhekisisa. Welcome to One Day Leader Season 6. Your vision statement.
Thank you very much, Mam Timande. I believe in a South Africa where the injustices of the past are corrected, a South Africa where the means of production benefit the poor, a South Africa where the property ownership does not belong to the minority. Indeed, a South Africa that does not see color, but it sees humanity. We are young lions, we are the future, and no one can stop us.
Igama lami Sibonisile Ngubane, ngivela eThekwini but originally ngowaseMangozi kwaMhlabelingane. I went to school in Fred, ngaba uthisha for about 3 years, and then I just finished studying my media practices. My area of interest in terms of impacting society is that I love giving, but I've also found that akusizi if umuntu uzomnika into but you don't leave their minds enriched, you don't leave their minds thinking, okay, but what can I do for myself to get myself out of this situation? That's what I want to do. I want to inspire everyone to say, I can also do it.
All right, Mzansi, that is Sibonisile, known as Leader 5 on the show. Welcome. Please share your vision statement.
My grandmother tells me of a South Africa where umuntu was umuntu ngabantu, where it was kindness and not political affiliations that ruled the land. The human life came before everything else. Law and legislation to a nation where the human spirit has been broken can conquer nothing. Wealth and success are futile when we have lost our humanity. It begins and ends with us.
Adam Mzansi, our final leader, Leader 6. Let's see who he is.
My name is Zongezile Qeba. I was born and raised in the Northwest, and then Nuyana Kitana ko vets, Kidira chemical engineering, Kidira Jaraka ya bofela. Kitumeletse go nna mo one day leader. Segolo bogolo ka gore ke tletse go tla go bontsha gore a nna go motseng kgotsa a nna go locationeng ga go kgathalesege ka gore nna I'm a village boy to my core. Ke tlhaga go motseng ke batla go inspire bana ba ba batlang mo moraga ka ba ba nnang go metseng because a gona di role models tse dintsi go metseng ke passionate ka bana ba banyane too much because I believe swantse re simolle ko.
And that is our final leader, Zongezile Qeba, one day leader. Your vision statement, please.
I envision a leader that will empower a child from a rural area in a township to lead. A leader that will advocate consistently for equality, heritage, and economic transformation. Give a nation access to resources and quality education, and its economy will remain alive. # we are chancing for change.
Well, there you have it, Mzansi. These are your final top 6 leaders. Sanizwele Matupa, will they be able to rise to the occasion? Well, we certainly hope so. Now, you're welcome to join the conversation and, of course, hold our leaders accountable by visiting our Facebook page, One Day Leader SA, to share your comments on the topic. Also, visit our Twitter page at One Day Leader, and remember to keep us trending using that all-important hashtag #OneDayLeader6. Now, on to the voting. I guess Bugutinina Lape Makaya. Ningavota kanjani? Well, Mzansi, at the end of the season, our leaders will also be expected to come up with a legacy project of their own in one of the communities that they'll be working closely with. Now, we wouldn't have our top 6 had it not been for our 2 permanent judges. Let's meet them. They are Catherine Constantinides, a social entrepreneur, environmentalist, social activist, and businesswoman, as well as Tebogo, an entrepreneur, public relations guru, and chairperson of Reader Book South Africa. A round of applause for our judges. Now, Tebogo, I can safely say that these are the leaders that you have chosen. Do you have every bit of confidence that they can lead our country?
I do believe that if they have the willingness to learn, and they are passionate, they're dedicated, and they're diligent, they will be able to reach their full potential. And I think that's what this show is all about. Once you've reached your full potential, you're then going to be able to help others to do the same. So if they have the right mentality, they're willing to put in the work, then I have no doubts that they could lead this country.
Thank you very much, Tebogo. Mzansi, in 2007, Masqhakaze Secondary School made national headlines in the country when 100 learners fell pregnant during that school year. Ever since then, they have made it a priority to reduce the number of unintended pregnancies amongst pupils in the school. While joining us from the school is the principal, Mr. George Majaji. Sir, welcome to One Day Leader this evening. Thank you so much for making the time to be on the show. Now, you were part of the turnaround strategy in that school. The numbers fell from 100 in 2007 to just under 20 or just above 20 in 2017. Won't you take us through that?
Involving all other stakeholders, including the LO educators and the parents component, the SBST within the school, working with the NGOs, social development, helping us. We have developed strategies to assist, to communicate with both a boy child and a girl child in the school. And when we speak with these groups, we are discouraging them because both of them, they are affected. It couldn't be on a girl, it cannot be blamed to a girl child, it couldn't be blamed to a boy child. During our meeting and sessions, we're discouraging them to have unprotected sex.
Thank you very much, Principal. Well, before we move on to our task, I'd like to introduce you to a new player to this exciting platform. She's a think tank, renowned speaker, author, leadership and character development expert. Viewers, please meet Thabang Mashego.
Lina ke Thabang, ke Lethabele Thabisang, ke ngwana wa ha Mashego. Ke namane, ke Kgoshi Kgadi ya Mapulane. I am, an expert in leadership knowledge based on the background. I've worked with a lot of organizations, building them from one point to another. I'm also a speechwriter for a couple of parliamentarians and ministers based on trade-related issues. My background is political science and international relations. I specialized in diplomacy and negotiation and also African human development and human security. I had a brief interaction, in fact a broad interaction with the contestants from season 5, and each and every one of them, they left a part of them in me. So I really am amped to be part of this journey to see how these individuals are going to grow from one point to another. It's like a plant. When you place it on the ground and you make sure that the soil is fertile, it grows in stages once it's watered. So this platform is the watering. This platform is saying, here's the seed. And I'm looking forward to see what fruit it's going to bear.
Well, thank you, Thabang, and welcome on board. Mzansi, Thabang will be guiding, coaching and mentoring our leaders in the next 13 weeks to help them develop their full potential as young leaders on the show. Mzansi, stay with us. We are still with the topic of the day. We're focusing on the importance of reproductive health. And our debate question is, who should take primary responsibility to encourage a healthier attitude towards sexual encounters amongst our students? Should it be the school or the family? Now let's move on to our task of the day in relation to our topic.
It was first day. He was my virgin breaker. Then 13 sa busy adolescent stage.
Good day, leaders. Firstly, congratulations for making it through to the One Day Leader Season 6 Top 6. Now the real work begins. Today I'll be handing you your first task. In 2007, Masqhakaze High School in Tembisa saw 100 learners fall pregnant in that year alone. Today you will meet Nomthandazo Zulu, a 17-year-old mother of a 3-year-old little boy. She fell pregnant when she was doing her grade 8.
Ngibangibheka umntanami vele kuba buhlungu like vele yabona noma like njengala situation ala endlini yabona mama uyosebenzayo baba akasebenzi into ezinjalo yabona sometimes sinokusafara kushote lokhu into ezinjalo nokucabanga ngiwani siyazi ngabathi ngabe ngicede isikole ngizokwazi ukwenzela abazali bami into ethile ngabe weza mase ngimdala ngikwazi ukumenzela yonke into ngikwazi ukuthi akashode ngaloko ngikwazi ukumenzela.
Your job today is to discover why there is such a high rate of unplanned pregnancies among scholars. What are the root causes? And most importantly, what can be done to prevent unintended pregnancies, especially among scholars? Bhekisisa, you are the leader for this task. It's your responsibility to put your fellow contestants in their places and make sure that you assign each of them their own duties and responsibilities. Lead this team and show us what you can do. You're dismissed. Welcome back to One Day Leaders Season 6. Igama lami nguPhilshongwe, your host on the show that grooms potential leaders into being true future leaders. Well, today's topic is the rise in the culture of casual and unprotected sex amongst the youth becoming rapidly prominent. So, Mzansi, who should take primary responsibility to encourage a healthier attitude towards sexual encounters among the students? Should it be the school or the family? That is our question for the day. Well, our leaders went on a fact-finding mission to Masqhakaza Secondary School in Tembisa Township, which made national headlines back in 2007 for having the highest unintended pregnancies in the Gauteng province. A total of 100 girls fell pregnant during their academic year at that school. Since then, the school has strived to turn the tide and has taken action to deal with the scourge. Let's see what our leaders uncovered.
When we arrived at Vusmuzi, I was emotional, and I didn't think that we still live like pigs.
It's worse than where I grew up, but it's almost close to where I grew up.
Nice,
About dating, yeah. When I was date?
Yo mina ngaqala ngina 14.
Uqala na 14 basuka grade bala.
Bengenza grade 8 vele. Qala high school.
Wakhulela same year.
Bengumntwana straight. Just khamba kakhulu into ezinjalo. Tona vele ukenzakala lo mistake leyo.
Nako simola go ratana bagolo ba gago bane ba le awe gore wa ratana.
But they hadn't created an environment where they sit and they talk about these things.
I know how difficult it is for Black people, especially, you know, so I definitely sympathize with them. I empathize with them a lot because I know that it's easier said than done.
Azange
ngabona umama mina ngamangala kana ukuthi unoni mangimthengela le iskate sincane mina phela ngimboni yakwazi lo bayambona laba bangijwayele mara bangijeli bayahleka ngami
qala ingane mayijola kwakuba yimission ukuthi uzophuma kanjani endlini manje uyakwazi ukuxoxa nesoka lakhe efonini ingakho uma wakhe ngabonanga ukuthi uzokhulela unomthandazo ngoba wawubona ngengane isifaka amaruji before iphuma endlini ukuthi ayisekuqala ukufoma lokho nangu usayiphophosa uyayinaka So uma wakhe akakwazanga ukubona ukuthi yazi ngathi sekuqala ukukhula lokhu kumele ngimgade ngoba konke bekwenzeka efonini ehlele embedeni vele.
Mase ngikhuluma iqiniso ngaphatheka kabi kakhulu. Ya. Ngoba manje umntwana vele bengizitshela ukuthi kumele aphushe aqhubeke nesikole and then bese uyaqhubeka uya phambili futhi ngemfundo zakhe enze lokho afuna ukwenza-ke mase ka-right-ke sengalotsholwa nokuyalotsholwa izinto ezifana nalezo. Ukwenzekile mfethu samele ukuthi samukele yabona noma nje bese kunzima ukuthi ngamukele ngoba vele mina bengiyilwisa kahle kahle.
I feel for the father. After listening to what he had to say, when he, spilled his heart out, I felt like, no, this man, he's tried out his best.
He loves iy'ngane zakhe. Ayikho into esemqondo ukuthi unikeze iy'ngane uthando, especially njengobaba.
Uzokwenza njani mhlambi xa uqhubeka phambili ungaphinde wenze the same mistake ubuyenzile, like ungathi mhlambi into onoyenza uya phambili?
Nangizibhekela isikolo into ezinjalo khona clinic prevent afake implant.
Alright, preventer.
Yeah, prevent.
Abstinence didn't seem like it was even a conversation that we could bring.
She never spoke about abstaining. She never spoke about condoms.
She has a child now, and I think she's also starting to see herself as a mother, as an adult.
Unomthandazo ingane. I shy away from thinking that when you have ingane now usuwumama wekhaya. Khona ukuba umama womuntu kube noba umama wekhaya.
For her to want to be in an intimate relationship, there's nothing wrong with that.
She needs to mother up, but not woman up.
We are prevent, 3 months.
No. We can't do that.
Unangaki ubhuti lo ohlekisana naye?
28.
First of all, ngimbuzela unomthandazo ngathi nomthandazo uyakwazi ukuthi cha. Uyakwazi nje ukuthi cha kuyena ukuthi nje angifuni.
Kuye. Ngiyakwazi. Awumsabi.
Nomthandazo was not honest. She was not honest about her story. Ekhaya bayazi ukuthi khona umuntu ohlekisana naye. Mhlawumbe bafila kanjani ukuthi mhlawumbe ukhona lo bhuti amthanda yini babona umkhwenyana nje bacabangani ngaye.
Ayena bayamazi.
Uthi nathi lo muntu wakhona siyamazi?
Yeah.
Simazi kanjani?
Her panic in being asked that question mostly had to do with the fact that the father was there.
She was trying to protect the fact that she knows and the father would disapprove. She had to make it seem as though she disapproves altogether, as if she doesn't know. When I spoke to Nomthandazo alone, she was able to open up to me a lot more about her situation. For example, I asked her some questions about the father of the child, and she told me that just the day before we were there, he had been there to see the child, and he doesn't really provide for the child, but when he was there, he bought some snacks, which is not really actually looking after the child.
Well, Mzansi, let's give it up to the leaders for having participated in their first task on One Day Leader Season 6. Well, these were our leaders' first strides into leadership. And with that, we turn to Catherine. Firstly, the topic is quite sensitive, Catherine, but a conversation that must be had. Briefly, your opinion on today's topic and what you thought on our leaders' performance on their first task.
I think I'll start with the performance of these young leaders. For a first task that was absolutely incredible. I was held on every point that each and every one of you made. I think that you were powerful and it was authentic. You were so driven by your own engagement on the topic from what you saw. And I hope this sets the standard and tone for this season.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Mzansi, you know, Guti, change can only happen when you get out of your comfort zones and, of course, engage with the very people that you're leading. Leaders, your task will contribute a few points to your overall score. In other words, The judges will judge our leaders on how well they performed on the task, which will then affect the scoreboard. All right, now after the break, we will see how all of this will unfold. Stay with us. One-day leader. Now, before the break, you heard for the first time that our leaders will be judged on how they performed on their task in Tembisa Township. Nikhumbule, we are discussing ukubaluleka kwemfundo yezindaba zocansi nezingane zesikole. Should the school or the family take primary responsibility to encourage a healthier attitude towards sexual encounters amongst the youth? Tebogo, your thoughts on how our leaders performed on the task, and won't you please tell us how you have scored them?
Well, Pearl, I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't expect you guys to hit it out of the park on your first attempt, so I think we should give them a round of applause. I specifically want to talk about at the end how
Hello and welcome back. Nisabugele One Day Leader, the second episode of season 6. Well, namhlanje we're discussing sex education and how it affects our youth in schools by posing the question, who should take primary responsibility to encourage a healthier attitude towards sexual encounters and behavior? Well, should it be the school or does the responsibility lie with the family? Well, our next debate is between Leader 6, Zongezile, and Leader 1, Gugulethu. You guys already know the rules of engagement. It is ladies first. Before we get to the actual debate, Catherine, won't you let us know who is for and who is against?
I think let's allow Gugu to go against, and then you will be for.
All right, thank you very much. Gugulethu, it's ladies first. Your time starts now.
Nomthandazo is a casualty of her environment. Leaders sometimes internalize social problems so extensively that what might appear to be the cause of a problem is merely the symptom. Upon finding that Nomthandazo is publicly ridiculed, even by her educators, for returning to school after giving birth to a son, I am led to call for the reinforcement of what the African Youth Charter entails in the Constitution, which is for the elimination of discrimination against girls and making sure that there are no barriers in the education system.
Thank you very much, Gugu. Your time is up. Leaders, you have 60 seconds to engage.
Now, Gugu, you are aware that Nomthandazo was impregnated by somebody who's 28 years old, right? My question to you is, how do you address that part? Because they are part of the cause of the problem. How do you address that? Because you haven't mentioned anything about that.
As the principal said, they are now having workshops at the school that will
workshop
bring boys,
for the 28-year-old guy. I'm talking about the guy.
No, actually,
the guy.
The 28-year-old is Nomthandazo's second boyfriend. Nomthandazo's first boyfriend is in university.
Exactly,
he was still in school when Nomthandazo fell pregnant
let's talk about that guy. How are you going to ensure that the guy who's in university knows about your solution?
And because the guy is in a privileged situation to continue his education, she is now behind at 18 years old, only doing her grade 9.
Speak about the male section, please. You haven't said anything about that.
No, I'm
How are
saying
you going to ensure
the guy
that?
who impregnated Nomthandazo was not 28.
But are you aware that also that the people who
boyfriend.
impregnate these people are not in schools, they are working? How are you going to ensure that these people get access to your solutions? And how effective will your solutions be to somebody who stays in a rural area?
I'm saying what the Constitution entails about keeping girls in school after being pregnant needs to be reinforced.
Your time is up. Thank you very much, leaders. Leader 1, you have the remaining 30 seconds.
A wise man once said, when a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower itself. This is applicable to Nomthandazo's case. She could have been in matric at the age of 18, but she is only doing her grade 9.
Welcome back to One Day Leader. Mzansi, we are about to close the show. Remember, before the break, I told you our studio audience had an opportunity to vote for their favorite leader for this episode. Well, I do have the results with me, but before I give them to you, let's hear some parting words from our judges. Debocha, I'll start with you.
Well, firstly, I'd just like to say it's important for all of you to come better prepared. I think today you weren't that well prepared. You were relying on your notes. And secondly, I didn't hear anything about North and South Korea and Switzerland, where teenage pregnancy rates are at the lowest. What could we learn from them? And so I want you to come up with better examples, do your homework much better. And I want you to stop these screaming sessions when you're debating, because at some point you're not even listening to each other. All you want to do is drive your point across. And the point of debate, I remind you, is to get closer to the truth, not necessarily just to impart your own views.
All right, thank you very much. And of course, to our guest judge, what are your parting words?
Thanks. I think this was a lot of information that one, I think, could have gained out of this. And I think even Muzanzi is learning a lot of things that you have said. And also in identifying that the school is at the center of giving out the information to all other stakeholders to collaborate and to deal with this issue. However, with all the information that we've gained today, as Mashtaka as a secondary school, we are aiming for a year that when we open our gates in January, we will have no learner until the end of December without any learner being pregnant. We are aiming to that day.
Thank you very much, judges, for your valuable contribution as always tonight. Now, Mzansi, let's find out who our studio audience voted for. Is it going to be leader 1 and leader 5 with all their poise? Will it be leader 2 or leader 4 with their punchlines? Will it be leader 6 or leader 3 with their passion please? Bhekisisa, congratulations. Our studio audience have voted you. All right, let's now take a look at our scoreboard. A quick reminder that this is not the final scoreboard, because remember, you at home, your votes will be counted and we'll reveal them at the start of next week's show. But now let's take a look at the scoreboard as it stands. Well done to all our leaders. To the viewers at home, remember, we'll be showing your voting results next week. Voting closes at 1300 hours this coming Monday. So make sure that you get your fingers on those phones and you vote to keep your favorite leader in the running. Next week, you'll get to see our final scoreboard. Thank you very much to our candidates, to our judges, to our studio audience, and of course to you at home for joining us for tonight's episode. South Africa's sexual education is not about encouraging the youth to have sex. It is more than that. It includes a focus on values, decision-making, abstinence, delaying first sex, limiting the number of partners, and of course, safer sex. Well, that is how we wrap up tonight's episode. From myself, and the rest of the One Day Leader team.